What is going on? This is your boy, Dave, sitting in his office in the Old Town Overlook in Old Town Scottsdale, Phoenix, Arizona, in the year of our Lord 2018. And I'm here to say good evening to you and welcome to the Good Work Life. In case you aren't following me in every single thing I do in my life, which I assume no one does, I've been home for about 15 minutes now. I just got off a plane and I was in Denver. And I'm going to tell you more about it in a minute, but it was great and it was fun. And I know some of my friends who I reconnected with and some of my friends who I just made up there will be watching this. So, hello, greetings. I made it home safe. What do I want to say first? Oh, I know what I want to say first. January 27th, that would be this Saturday night. There's a fundraiser in Phoenix, fundraiser by the Chavez Youth and Community Center, a fight night, amateur boxing fight night. It raises funds for the Chavez Youth and Community Foundation. They do a lot of work with under-resourced kids, kids who are on the margins in a lot of different ways. Anyways, this fight night, we got 2 tickets. I'm going, and I would love for someone to go with me. So I tried a Facebook post, didn't get a lot of feedback on that, but if you would love to go and watch this fight night, no cost to you, but check out this nonprofit and see what they do and see what they're about. I would love for you to come with me, so please shoot me a direct message or call me and give me a text and let me know you would be interested. First come, first serve. Nights on the house. You don't have to pay for anything. Just come and check out this incredible, really good service community foundation, Chavez Youth and Community. And yeah, let me know. Okay, cool. Don't forget, we have groups every Tuesday night and Thursday night. You can find that on our website or our Facebook page. Thursday nights, 6 o'clock, Cartel Coffee Lab. We are talking about spirituality there and how to save ourselves from ourselves. It's a pretty cool topic. And Tuesday nights, pop culture happy hour. We talk about what's in the news because it genuinely matters, the pop culture news. So we think we can learn a lot about ourselves and each other by seeing what's top trending stuff on the web. God, I sound like such an old man tonight. I don't know why that is. I'm tired. It's been a long 2 days. It's been great, but it's been a long 2 days. Did you know that there are only 2 species on Earth that carry leprosy? It's true. Humans and armadillos. That is a fact. You can Google it right now and find out that it's true. Armadillos carry leprosy. Now, from the reporting that I've heard and listened to and read, you can't catch leprosy from them by touching them or handling them or making them to curl up into a ball. Any reported cases where it seemed like it was passed on was from ingesting said creature. So if you're trying to make a stinky foot armadillo stew, might want to reconsider. But I thought it was really interesting that of all the creatures in the world, armadillos carry leprosy. And you may be saying, I kind of have a general idea what leprosy is, but could you explain a little bit further to me? Yeah, it's a type of bacterial infection. It affects skin tissue and nerve endings. And while some of you may have been raised in Sunday school and there may have been old wives' tales about, or old folk tales. I don't know, is old wives' tales, is that sexist? I don't know, tell me in the comments. But there were old stories and jokes about how people's thumbs and fingers and noses fell off with leprosy. That's not exactly how it works. What happens is your nerves get infected and you lose feelings in parts of your body. And what actually happens is, because you can't feel anything, you may injure a part of your body and not even actually know what happened, or you may know what happened, but you feel no pain, and people wouldn't get those wounds treated, and it would get infected like a wound that gets untreated does, and that's when it would, the gross stuff. But leprosy has been like one of the oldest recorded ailments in human history. It's been around, some sort of that bacterial infection where the skin turns and different colors, the loss of feeling in all parts of the body. It's been around forever. As a matter of fact, there is a story in the Christian New Testament in a book called Luke, where Jesus specifically encounters 10 fellows with leprosy. And at that time, and in that culture, in that place, and I really just want to kind of fit this shoe on real quick, people who were sick, and this kind of sick, where there was like you could pass it through coughing, sneezing, kind of that airborne stuff. They didn't have a great way to treat it, so they had places outside of city centers where if you had that ailment, you're told, forced to leave the city so that you wouldn't hurt or affect anyone else. And so the phraseology of like a leper colony. Okay, does that make sense? So anyways, this happened. It was unfortunate and terrible, but actually historically true thing that happened. And the story in Luke chapter 17, if you want to look it up or anything weird like that, is that Jesus comes across these 10 lepers, and he sees them. He has compassion. They ask for compassion, and as the story goes, he says, "Go show yourselves to the religious leaders." And as they do, they find themselves not having leprosy anymore, which is brilliant, right? Great, totally cool. And if the story ended there, it would be like the most boring, weird, miracle-y, no one understands what it's for story. But the story goes on, because what happens is, a little while later, one of the fellows who had leprosy, but as the story says, does not anymore, he comes back to Jesus, and he shows Jesus this gratitude, and he bends down and he holds his hands, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Jesus is actually taken aback by this. He's really kind of shocked, because what he says next is, weren't there 10 of you? Why is this one here coming back? And he's not even one of our people. He's from another ethnic group that probably, for the most part, wouldn't want to be around us. He was a Samaritan. That story, short, punchy, weird. Jesus takes care of 10 people. One person comes back to thank him. There's a real basic story in there, a story about empathy. And that's what I want to hone in on tonight. So I was at this conference in Denver, Colorado, and it was a bunch of leaders, a bunch of high potential leaders, a bunch of brilliant, smart, caring people who are all in different careers helping other folks. Some were chaplains, some were counselors, some were pastors, but they all came together to spend 2 days talking about how we push further in caring for people, how we face conflict, how we deal with doubt we may have in ourselves of the work that we're trying to do. And it was really powerful 2 days, and I was asked to lead a small discussion group this year on isolation, on being in a helping profession but feeling isolated, which I don't know on the outside if you have a different type career or if that makes sense to you. But what happens often is that when you are in a helping profession, especially one that has some level of emotional or cognitive or spiritual intimacy connected to it, there are a lot of times when you feel very alone. You feel like you're on the inside looking out, or you're on the outside looking in, depending on a variety of different reasons. But there's there's this real problem that we at some point in everyone's kind of journey and figuring out who they are and who they want to be in these helping professions, there's this moment where you feel like you're completely alone. And so I led this group and I talked to some brilliant people, and I'm not going to share their stories, but there was some real openness about what it's like to feel alone, either literally because there's no one like you in a geographical parameter of where you are, or because you're new somewhere and you don't have any relationships, or because of the title that you have, people don't know how to socialize with you. Anyways, we got near the end, and the point came up. What is this isolation really? The feeling of being alone or isolated, what's it really rooted in? And someone mentioned this, and I thought it was worth sharing again tonight for y'all. And that's this: when you are helping someone, even in a small way, what you were doing is you were engaging this both mental and emotional and spiritual experience called empathy. You feel for a person, you hurt for a person, you are moved to do something, and that takes something from you. The act of empathy is a selfless thing, because you don't gain from it, you lose from it. And oftentimes when you're in a helping profession, you have empathy, and then you have empathy, and then you have empathy, and you use this, I don't know if you want to call it a feeling, you want to call it a discipline of empathy, whatever you want to call it. You use it a lot, and it's hard to use. It requires focus and attention and presence and honesty, brutal honesty sometimes, and an awareness of who you are and who you're not. And there's all kinds of things. You've experienced empathy. You know in a trying situation how difficult that can be. The point came up in the group was this: helpers, people who help, are sharing this empathy. But just like in any relationship, there's usually a return. There's something that's returned. But in helping others regularly, what that person experiences is it's a lack of a return of empathy. And that repeating itself can be very difficult. And when you don't receive a balance of the empathy that you give out, you become to feel, you start to become isolated. You feel isolated. You perceive an aloneness about yourself. So I think if you talk about that Luke 17 story that I just told you about Jesus and the 10 lepers, and the one came back to thank him, and Jesus was kind of freaked out by it. I think he who lived a life of helping was shocked because so rarely is empathy returned to the helper in a balanced amount. So my question for you is this, and you can put it in the comments or you can shoot me a personal message, anything like that. What do you think of that? Do you feel like empathy should be expected when we help others? And this isn't for the professionals now who professionally are helpers, whatever that means. I know I've used that a lot. But if you help someone, if you go out of your way, if you bend over backwards, you change your schedule, you do something you don't normally do to do good, to be kind, to show compassion, to live out a more purposeful life, do you expect a return on that? Have you helped and found yourself expecting a return on that, a return of empathy or a return of thanks? What should our expectations be of each other? How much does the context of the situation, direct how we have expectations about what occurs between different parties? Have you ever gone out of your way Or have you ever been in a place where you needed help? How did you respond to your helper? What are your expectations when you help? I would love to get your thoughts on that. I thought we had great discussions, but honestly, I don't think we would have any more insightful things than you guys are. This community would either. So I would love to hear your thoughts on expectations of receiving empathy as a person who helps others. And if you've ever experienced it, if you feel like what I said is a bunch of phooey and you totally have a different point of view, I would love to see your thoughts on that. So I've gone about 15 minutes now, and I am so tired from this trip that I'm going to keep it short tonight. So lucky you. If you didn't get to watch this live, it's okay. Please share in the comments anyways your thoughts about my questions on empathy. Check out our groups throughout the week on our Facebook page and our website. And if things like this are meaningful to you and you enjoy it, a tip, leaving a tip in our donation or our support page as small as $5 helps us keep creating content and offering help to folks who need it. So if you appreciate it, you can even just drop a couple bucks off at thegoodwork.org/support. So don't forget, I am giving away a ticket to the Chavez Youth and Community Fight Night this Saturday. It's on me. I just want you to come and check out this nonprofit event. Our January, February donations are going to Poverty's Pets. It's a nonprofit organization in the East Valley that helps rescue pets, especially in some underserved parts of the valley. And I just got confirmation from them. We're going to go do a video with them in the next week or so, and I'll be able to tell you more of their story. But you can also go to thegoodwork.org/support and leave a donation. We have a $500 matching grant going right now, so up to $500, anything you give in, they're already going to get the $500, but we're encouraging you to consider matching it. You can go to the support page, goodwork.org/support, and you can drop the tab down, and it will give you the option of how you'd like your donation to go. Anyways, you guys are amazing. I am so tired. I'm going to crash, but I'm going at it tomorrow. We got a group tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at Cartel Coffee Lab. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Keep doing the good work. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.